Terrifying true. Amazon Tales. Number 1. Alex, is someone in my house?
My friends insisted that I had made the wrong choice and that Google Home was a superior product all around. I had resisted, claiming that the smart home features were what really worried me. The Amazon Echo with Alexa seemed to be the best option based on the reviews I had read. However, because of the way updates are released, even articles a year old are now out of date. Regardless, I was pleased with my new toy. I had just moved into my first home and had spent a few weeks unpacking, setting up my TV, and installing all the smart home devices I had purchased. I added the downstairs Echo pair last because I couldn't decide where I wanted it to go. After I opened the box, I immediately set them up, downloaded the app, and started pairing all of my smart home gadgets. I started experimenting, making my own voice profile, testing the two units' ability to communicate through intercom, and generally just having fun with my new toy. I finally fell asleep around midnight, excited for the chirp of my new 6:15 a.m. wake-up routine, which consisted of an alarm followed by traffic and the weather forecast for the day. Alexa was reading the news from the downstairs unit when I woke up in the middle of the night. Just as I'd received it, the volume was turned all the way up, and I immediately regretted not adjusting the setting. I told her to stop and turn the volume down as I went downstairs. The time on the clock read 3:30 a.m. Was my time zone setting incorrect? Or was there a time difference? That's not logical at all. I turned it off and I went back to bed because I was still tired, dismissing it as a fluke. Alexa went off at 6:15 a.m. as scheduled. I got out of bed, dressed, and left for work. Throughout the first day, I periodically checked the cameras and the thermostat. I didn't really expect anything, but I did it just for the novelty. As was to be expected, everything seemed to be just fine. That evening, I followed the same routine. The unit downstairs once more chirped at maximum volume and started reading the news. But this time, it was 2:10 a.m. I told her to stop, and despite my irritation, I reset the volume before going back to sleep. The next night, it occurred again. The volume was at its highest level, but this time it didn't happen once. It happened 3 times. The first time, I blamed user error, thinking that perhaps I had accidentally reset the volume. The second time, I was sure I had turned the volume down, and the third time, I finally unplugged the device. The following day, I was cranky, and my coworkers could tell. Most people tried to ignore my attitude, but my friend Jim wouldn't let me get away with it. "Why are you acting like a jerk today? Too many TPS reports?" he asked. "No. I've been having trouble sleeping. I moved into my new home and I installed a smart home system, but lately there have been a bunch of glitches. Every time I go to sleep, it wakes me up in the middle of the night, but at random times. When I called customer service, they said they had no idea why the device was broken and asked me to send it back." He nodded. "Have you tried playing the recordings to see if you can identify what might be triggering it?" Confused, I turned to face him. "Huh? What do you mean?" I asked. "It keeps a record of recent conversations. For example, if you wake it up, it will begin to record. I have no idea what's happening. Maybe you have a refrigerator, ice maker, or another device that activates it. Although uncommon, it does occasionally happen." I blushed, regretting that I had overlooked that minor point in the setup guide, and I got up to go. When I finally figured out how to play back recordings, my hands started to get sweaty, and my mouth started to dry up as I began to think about all kinds of paranormal possibilities. Following a few recordings that were clearly of me experimenting with the features, a recording from the middle of the first night appeared. The text was unavailable. To play the recording, I had to click. Before I worked up the courage to click the prompt, my finger lingered over it for a brief period of time. At first, the only sounds I could hear were the deep thrum of the heater running and the fuzz and pops of the background noise. Then I could make out another, initially vague, sound. Not very loud, so I concentrated, and I hear it say, "She is unable to accomplish this. She is incapable of completing this. She is unable to." After that, the recording stopped. I had to sit down because my legs felt like they were made of jelly. I opened the other entries marked text unavailable. There was a bunch of them. Most of them were from the daytime while I was at work. Some were from the night, but they didn't wake me up. Most were very similar. It was only background noise for a short while. The voice then started. "I'll do it. They don't know. They can't. She did it. I'll show her." And next recording. "I'll do it next time. Next time. She can't. I can't keep waiting. I'll do it. She keeps ignoring me. I'm right here. Waiting." And next recording. "Tomorrow night. I can't wait. I gave her every chance to apologize. I can't wait. I can't wait." And I needed a few minutes to gather myself and get over the shock before I dialed 911 and begged the police to search my house for an intruder. Thank God they did. In the empty laundry chute across from the counter where I had set up my downstairs unit, they discovered a thin, half-starved man curled up inside. When they pulled him out, he was mumbling strangely while holding an old rusted knife. We still don't know why he was there, who he was talking to, or who he is. He wasn't related to the previous owner of the house. And I couldn't have been the intended victim because I'm not a woman. But if he had made the decision one night to emerge from the shadows and find his way to my room, I may have been the victim after all.
Number 2. The strange package.
Your package will arrive today, according to the notification on my phone. I was baffled as I gazed at it. I hadn't placed any recent Amazon orders. In fact, I actually thought that I had deleted the app from my phone to prevent impulse purchases of strange kitchen gadgets. Hey Trevor, did you buy anything from Amazon? Yeah. Socks, a strainer, and, what was it? The tiny rings with the metal beads on them that support shower curtains. No, that happened a week ago. I'm referring to right now. There's a package on the way. He arched his brows in thought. No, I haven't placed any orders since. Did you? No. Hence, my request to you. He squinted. Perhaps Alexa placed an order by mistake. Is that a thing? He asked. Yeah. Online, there are numerous complaints about it. No doubt. Making mistake orders is another way for Amazon to make money. Oh no, you just bought a new stainless steel frying pan for $112.81. I huffed and took out my computer. He was always making jokes. I went on Amazon and there was an order. An item that was ordered a few days ago was on the way. But the product image was changed to the generic "no image available" gray text. $0 appeared in the price box. The product's name was unknown. Arriving today between 8 to 10 p.m. was written underneath in green bold letters. Trevor. Check this out. He cast a quick glance at the computer screen. Wow, that's so strange. Most likely just a bug, he said. I must have looked really upset when he turned to face me, because he continued, I wouldn't worry about it, babe. I waited for the delivery notification. I jumped and glanced out the window to see if the package had arrived every time I heard a truck go by. As 8 p.m. drew near and the package still hadn't arrived, I had mixed emotions. I had been eager to open the mystery package, but also a little alarmed by what seemed to be a scam Amazon order. Maybe it was a glitch. Maybe no shipment was ever scheduled for delivery. Was it just a system error? Then my phone rang at 7:54 p.m. Your package was delivered. I leaped off the couch and ran as quickly as my legs would carry me to the door. You all right, babe? The package has arrived. Oh. I assumed it was just a digital error. But that's fantastic if they sent us a package that we didn't pay for. I love free things. It's not fantastic. It's strange. He almost danced as he followed me to the door. My shaking hand stumbled on the handle. I reminded myself that I shouldn't be nervous. Mistakes with Amazon are common. This is a good thing. Trevor is right. The items are free. Free things are always cool. I yanked open the door. That was it. A blue tape sealed brown box about a foot square. I picked it up, but I wasn't prepared for it to be so heavy. Here. I'll carry it, said Trevor. He carried it into the kitchen and placed it on the island. In his hand was a butter knife. Ready? He asked. I suppose. He cut it open, turned away and said, "What kind of scam is this?" The box was empty. I was looking at an empty cardboard box, held together with that blue tape, and it was slightly frayed and bent in some places. I made a circle around the island while keeping my eyes fixed on the box, as if something could appear out of nowhere. But, I finally said, it was so heavy. How is it empty? I thought it was going to be really great. Like a stereo or a robot vacuum, Trevor said sadly. Trevor went back to his office. I picked up the box to carry it out to the garage, but now it was light. A normal empty box. I folded the box up and put it in the recycle bin as my heartbeat began to slow. All that fuss for a box that was empty. I woke up freezing. I strained to see the time. 3:24 a.m. The open window's curtains fluttered in the breeze. I yelled, "Why is the window open?" and rushed to close it. I then realized the bed was empty. "Trevor?" I muttered. I quickly noticed the bathroom's light was off. But the door to the bedroom was wide open, and a faint, golden light shone down the stairs. He was downstairs. Out in the hallway, it was even colder. I quickly turned around and saw that all of the bedroom doors were open. And every window inside was open. What kind of nonsense is Trevor trying to pull? "Trevor!" I yelled. No response. I let out a sigh and went downstairs. As I did, I could hear it, a consistent metallic sound that felt like a heartbeat in my ears. "Damn you, Trevor, what the heck are you doing here?" Trevor was standing at the kitchen island, squinting at something. His arm was just moving back and forth, almost robotically, without him looking up at me. He was sharpening all the knives. There were 2 piles made up of every knife we owned on either side of him. With a metallic clang, he removed a knife from the sharpener and set it in the proper pile. Then he took the next one, a 12-inch chef's knife, and started sharpening it. He then came to a stop. I hid behind a nearby wall, while covering my mouth. He yelled from the kitchen, "Babe." He said, "I have something to show you." His tone was almost monotone and flat. He moved slowly and heavily toward me as his bare feet plodded on the tile. I inhaled slowly and nervously. I silently extended my foot in front of me. "Babe." I ran. My lungs were burning as I pushed myself forward despite my feet slipping on the tile. "Babe," he yelled. His once kind and gentle voice had changed. It was angry. I grabbed the keys off the hook, opened the garage and ran to my car. In the doorway, his hulking form was silhouetted, and I could see he held the knife firmly in his hand. I jumped inside the car, closed the door and started it. His eyes glistened eerily in the headlights as they washed over him. He was still for a split second. Then he sprinted towards the car. He moved as quickly as he could. He held up the knife in his hand, and he let out a shrill scream. I drove away as fast as I could. My mind was racing. Trevor had never been violent. He was the most gentle person I knew. Perhaps it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe he was sleepwalking. Could he have been playing a joke on me? I didn't want to think he was trying to hurt me. I didn't think about the empty package until I arrived at the police station. Trevor had to lift it off the doorstep because it was so heavy. After Trevor opened it, it was really light. Maybe there was something in the box after all. something we weren't able to see. Maybe we let it loose. And it found Trevor.